Hey guys, Mohan Pober here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to follow QLA and Dan Pena step by step and how to do it for beginners. So watch this video and we're going to walk you through step by step what to do if you want to follow QLA and Dan Pena. Let's get to it. So hey guys, if you're watching this video, it means that you follow QLA and Dan Pena. I went to the castle more than 4 years ago now, and since then that's what I'm doing. I'm following QLA. Watch some of my other videos on the channel to see the process into the details and nitty-gritty. But today I want to show you what to do if you follow in QLA and what to do step by step, especially if you kind of like just find out about Dan Pena and you're not sure what to do next. Now I want to split this video into two parts. So one of them is kind of like the emotional mindset part, and the second part is more about the strategy and what to actually do. I really believe that any problem you have in business or in life in general is either a mindset problem or a strategy problem. And I know what you're saying, hey, I don't have a problem with my mindset and all that, but if you're following Dan Pena, you know that he's talking a lot about your emotional bank account and how important that is. And I really still see that in myself and in my students and in literally my mentors who they tell me, and some of my mentors were literally billionaires almost in their 30s and multi-millionaires who run venture capital firms and private equity firms and been involved in many deals in the past. And they still tell me that wherever they want to grow, they understand that they gotta change something within themselves to basically become more emotionally stable or just grow as a person in general. So anything you have in life, it's either a mindset problem or a strategy problem. So let's get into the details of what you need to do in terms of QLA and following Dan Pena's journey, and what you need to do in terms of mindset and in terms of strategy. So let's start with the strategy. So in QLA in general, the first thing you gotta do is pick a sector, pick a niche, find an industry where you wanna work in. And I wanna really focus on the QLA in terms of buying businesses, because that's how Dan is teaching you to grow. There are basically two ways to grow a business, right? One of them is organically, growing one client at a time, and one of them is external growth by going out there and buy businesses. Even if you never bought a business before, that's the plan. Let's find you a business that you can buy, an established existing business with existing clients, revenues, assets, and let's buy those businesses using other people's money. Let's leverage financial institutions, any private investors, and buy those businesses and try to leverage as much as we can from OPM, ideally all of this, right? So the first thing you gotta do is find a sector, find a niche. How do you find a niche? I don't want to overwhelm you, because I see one of the biggest problems I see with QLA, and many people who message me about QLA, is the fact that they don't pick a sector literally for months or years. And I'm talking about people who went to the castle as well, and they're still struggling with finding a sector. And my biggest suggestion for you is think about this. Find something, some combination of your passion, your experience, and your contacts. So think about your passion, your experience in life, and who do you know? What people do you know? And literally think with yourself, imagine you had a gun to your head, someone's pointing a gun to your head and told you, hey man, think about all those things, and if you don't pick a sector within a week, I'm gonna shoot you. And you gotta ask yourself, and you're gonna tell you with the gun, hey, you gotta pick the right thing for you based on your passion, your experience, and your contacts and people you know. You have a gun to your head, what's the right choice for you? And the first thing that comes up to mind, you just pick that sector. You can take a week, but within a week, you have a gun to your head, and unless you pick a sector, it's gonna shoot you. And the reason you do that is because the sector doesn't matter. The sector can matter. There's no one sector, like I know Dan is talking a lot about healthcare and telecommunication. Yes, those sectors are great, but there is good sector for a specific person based on the things that I just mentioned. So you gotta pick one based on what fits you and the people you know and your experience and your passion. All of those things combined will be the best sector for you. There's no one sector for everyone. There's one sector for you and one ideal business or first deal for you. So pick that, keep that in mind. That's the first step. Now, overall, I want you to remember it's all about the nuances in the end of the day. All those different things, like most of the work you're gonna learn is while taking action. That's why accountability, support, someone to be around you to be able to ask him questions is so critical. Now, for those of you who don't have, you might tell me, hey, I don't have experience, I don't have context, I don't have those things. Just pick one. I don't give a shit, just pick one. And if you need ideas, reach out and I can help you pick one based on what I think are kind of like the easiest deals. But if you want, reach out if you don't have any experience. But in the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because what matters more is that you're going to stick with that industry. Why? Because the next step, and we're going to get into it, and you know what, first of all, let's get into board, right? So do you need a dream team? How do you build a dream team? I actually have a separate video on that, but let me quickly go through kind of like the steps in that as well. So here are my thoughts about a dream team. If you're a young 18 years old kid who did nothing in his life, I'd say have a dream team, literally just for having their names on your website. If you have some experience, I'm talking if you're like 25 years old and you did something in your life, you can do deals without a dream team. Why? And it's actually going to be against you to have a dream team. And the reason for that is because your first deals are going to be usually businesses doing between 1 to 10 million a year in sales. And to approach those business owners with this huge team behind you can be against you, because all the owner is going to see is money in front of his eyes. Now, with dream team, you really need to understand what do they bring to the table. Just to put them on your website isn't enough. Are they going to help you in the day-to-day, in the strategy? And that's what my mentoring is about. It's about helping you with the nuances and little details of how to find a deal, how to analyze deals, how to raise capital, how to do due diligence right on a deal, how to find contingent fee advisors easily. Those are things you need to be worried about. Having people on your website, is it important? No, it can be many times against you. Again, unless you're a very young little kid who have no experience whatsoever in his life. And really, I'm thinking about when someone who's 18 is going to come to me right now and talk to me, it's just not going to look good because he did nothing in his life. And if you want to buy my business right now, let's say you're the owner of a multi-million-dollar business, it's not going to feel comfortable to sell your business to an 18 years old kid unless you have a team behind him. But when you're an older person, and I'm talking literally if you're 25 and above, you're good to go, because you can then sell your experience. And actually the fact that you're young can be positive for you, because you have access to the internet and you understand all the social media world, and you can bring that to any business that you're getting yourself into. And when I'm talking about the dream team, I'm not talking about accountants and lawyers to help you with due diligence on a deal after you have a signed LOI. LOI is a letter of intent, which means you sent an offer for a business, and after they said yes, either verbally or via email or whatever, you then sign a letter of intent to move forward to do due diligence on a deal, to make sure that there's nothing hidden in the deal, everything is legal. And for that, you need accountants and lawyers, right? For that, it's really, really easy to find accountants and lawyers to work for you on contingent fee if you have signed LOI and expressions of interest for financing. And that leads us back to understanding that the most important thing in QLA, in the end of the day, is finding deals and raising capital. So you need to have as many ways as possible to find good deals. Like we use more than 10 different ways with me and my students every single day to find those deals. And you gotta have a way to be able to qualify them really fast. Otherwise, you can spend a lot of time talking to hundreds of business owners that none of them are motivated. So you gotta know what questions you ask, what ways you can really filter through those deals as soon as possible to not waste time on deals that are not closable. So I hope that makes sense. So first of all, you gotta know how to find deals. Then it's about understanding the nuances of raising capital. So doing deals is all about finding deals and having access to capital. And with access to capital, it's understanding the little different types of capital. What kind of capital you can use to close those deals? How do you pay that capital back? Can you use the business cash flow to pay that back? Do you know how to analyze numbers of a business to know if you can pay that back? All those different nuances that you can struggle with, and many times your board is not going to help you with that. Your board is just going to sit there telling, hey, I gave you my name, what do you want? Go and do the work. I'm here, I'm only getting 5%. Why the fuck would I do all the work for you? That's why you need to understand that board isn't that important, because they're not going to do the work for you. You need to know how to find those deals. You need to know how to analyze those deals. You need to know how to make offers, and how to know that you're making the right offer, and to know that the deal is a good deal or not. It's about those nuances, about the capital. You need to know what kind of capital do you raise. Are you using cash flow financing, asset-based lenders, mezzanine, investors, equity partners, debt partners, all those different ways to raise capital? Are you getting involved with venture capital firms or private equity firms? Is it even worth it to get involved with those firms? If you want to get involved with them, how do you even approach them? All those little questions that are much more important than building a dream team and finding a niche. You see what I mean? finding a niche in a sector and building yourself a dream team. Those are like the fundamentals. If you don't have that, you're not in the game. You're just fucking lying to yourself that you're doing something. You're just thinking to yourself, hey, what did you do? If I ask you, what did you do last week? You tell me, yeah, I just sent a lot of messages to potential dream team members. It means nothing. Or if you tell me, hey, I thought about what sectors I'm gonna pick in the last 3-5 months. I don't know. And I know people like that. Literally, people who did the castle with me still didn't pick a sector. Guys, you're not even in the game if you don't have a sector and a dream team. Fuck that shit, it's bullshit. It means nothing. Unless you know everything else we just talked about, finding deals, raising capital, analyze deals, what offers to make, all those little things. Do you know how to figure out if cash flow can cover debt service? Those are the things you need to understand. The little details and nuances of a deal. Not the beginning. Sector, finding a sector, building a dream team, that's just the beginning. And again, I know this video is supposed to be about step-by-step process, but those are kind of like the steps. I'm just telling you that most people focused only on finding a dream team and finding a sector. This is just the beginning, guys. You gotta move forward faster to what I just said, all those little details. What really frustrated me is that people make an excuse on why they're not moving forward. Like with finding deals, for example. Like I said, we use 10 different ways to find deals all over the place. If it's social media, offline, all those different ways that we're using. But don't make it an excuse to not start. Like start, do something, take action, execute. And that brings us back to the mindset, to the emotional bank account. Like Dan is talking a lot about cold calling. Literally, if that's the only way you know, start cold calling. Do something. It's not the most effective way, that's for sure. And it's going to take you a lot more time and hard to filter through what are the right deals or not. But start with something. Here you go. You got to find a way to find deals. Start with something, right? That's one way. How to find capital. We have a Rolodex of more than 100 institutions we work with. But with you, start with something. Google financial institutions. Find out who can help you with doing your deals and start to have conversations with them. As soon as you start to have your conversation with them, the better. You can interview financial institutions, however you want to approach that. Build relationship with them. Ideally, build relationships with them only when you have a deal. Otherwise, you're just not looking legit. It looks like you're just playing around. You're just a fucking idiot. You're wasting their time. Yes, they can offer you and promise you many things, but before you have a deal, they won't give a shit about you. So you gotta ideally approach them when you already have a potential deal in place. So that's kind of like the first steps of the process. Then after you know how to make offers, you know how to analyze deals. And again, you need to learn those things on your own if you don't know and you don't have the right person to help you with this. And it's really easy to learn how to analyze deals if you know what numbers you need to look on in a balance sheet. But again, every mistake here can cost you a fortune. If you're making a bad offer, you can literally make an offer for like $500,000 or more on a business. That's a $500,000 you can put in your pocket otherwise if you knew how to analyze those deals better. Let's say you know how to make an offer, you made an offer. Then it's about doing due diligence on your business. That's about finding the right accountants and lawyers to help you on contingent fees. And trust me, it's very easy to get them on board when you have a signed LOI, an offer accepted, and you already have an expression of interest from financial institutions. When you know how to do that, things are much easier. What else? So that's kind of like the first, those steps you gotta focus on. This video is getting longer. I don't want to overwhelm you. There are lots of other videos and you can see the links in the description below. We have a free group on Facebook and there are a few case studies and other links you can check out in the bottom to get more value and learn more about the process and the nuances and the details. But I really quickly want to talk about, first of all, just so I won't forget, it's really important to also think who's going to run the business for you. So unless you're going to want to run the business yourself, think from the get-go, hey, who's going to run those businesses for me? I'm looking at the business. Can I find someone in the business? Can I potentially find someone outside? Do I have a hiring process of how I find those best people? You need to think about those things. Otherwise, you'll find yourself with a shitty business and you'll need to be there day to day. And the business won't even have enough cash flow to pay you anything because you didn't know how to analyze it right. And also with due diligence, you gotta make sure that you know how to have the right deals with accountants, with lawyers, so you won't get screwed. I know people who paid by the hour to accountants and lawyers on due diligence and literally had to pay multiple 6 figures on a deal if they close it or not. That's the last thing you want to do. So quickly before we end the video, I wanted to also talk about mindset and your emotional bank account. With that, you gotta have the right habits. You gotta have the right habits, and you gotta grow as a person always. You gotta always grow as a person. A few things and ideas. You gotta know what you're doing with your time. If you want to know what you're doing with your time, put yourself a timer on your phone every 30 minutes and write down in Excel sheet, what have I done in the last 30 minutes? And do it for a week. You'll be shocked after a week how much time did you spend on bullshit, on so much bullshit. It's going to make you much more aware of your time, where you put it, and how productive are you. Do that. It's going to change your fucking life. Have mentors, have accountability, have support. Make sure you have someone you can access to ask questions. This is critical because information is important, and obviously understanding the little nuances and details so you're not getting screwed is super, super important. But having the accountability and support and having access to someone to ask questions, to get in touch with, to sometimes just have a mirror and an objective eye to tell you what they're thinking about this deal or that deal. This is so critical and can change your life as well in this process following QLA. What else? With mindset, critical things: have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals. And if you're not hitting those milestones, you gotta punish yourself. If you're hitting those milestones, reward yourself somehow, because it's gonna. I don't want to get into the details, and I'm not like a doctor or something, but it works, guys. Have like a daily goal of things you can achieve or want to achieve that are in your control, and if you did those things, have a reward. And it can be like a small reward, like a small piece of chocolate or a nice coffee from a nice coffee place that you like literally the smallest things, because your brain is going to think about getting that reward again and again and again. And if you're not accomplishing those things, you got to punish yourself somehow, because you need to teach your brain that it's not acceptable. If you have a goal, you're like a fucking soldier. You go to the target and you get it. You gotta have that in mind as well. For me, many times it was burning fucking notes of like $50, $100 notes for every task that I didn't accomplish, that I said to myself that I will. And trust me, after you're burning $100 for every time you eat the wrong food or whatever your goals are, right? Let's say you said to yourself, hey, I'm gonna work out 6 times this week. Every workout you didn't do, you're bearing $100. Trust me, you're not gonna miss many workouts eventually. And if you don't feel 100, and you gotta burn the fucking note, like literally burn the note. And if you want to send me those videos and show me that you did it. And trust me, when you burn notes, I don't care if in $100 for, maybe it feels like it's not too much. I don't know, maybe you feel like you need to burn $1,000. Trust me, at some price for you, it's gonna hurt. For me, even if I'm throwing $1 away, it's hurting me. Like something within me feel like I'm throwing soldiers out there and I'm killing them, because that money is something that you can use to go and bring in more money for you eventually. And trust me, you're gonna burn, if you have like 6-7 tasks that you need to do every day, and you're gonna burn $100 for every task that you didn't accomplish, eventually you'll do those tasks, and it's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna die. If not, I'm gonna, like, it's either doing this or die. There's no way I'm burning that money anymore. So those are a few things about how to develop as a person and growing as a person. And every time you're gonna take more responsibility on yourself, and try to every month also have more capacity and do more and take more responsibility, grow every month. Like for me right now, I'm burning money every month if I'm not making more money than last month. Why? Because I want to improve. I want to make progress as part of my ritual. And if I'm not progressing, I want to have punishment for that. Why? Because I want to become the best version I can be. Yes, I can rest on my laurels and chill and enjoy my life right now. I don't need to work. But for me, I know that if I want to grow and become the best version I can be, I want to have some kind of punishment. Otherwise, I can find myself all day long lazy, because I don't really need to work if I don't want to. And those are kind of like the first tips that I had in mind on how to follow QLA, how to go out there, grow by acquisitions, buying businesses, and have all the little details in line. Yep, I'm just trying to figure out if I forgot anything. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to learn more about that, see the links in the description below. We have a group of other individuals just like you, and we have other free value. Just see all the links in the description below. Get in touch, and I hope this helped you and opened your eyes to what's possible. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.